Just like our elders say, laughter is medicine. And you had me chuckling away down there, so thank you. Kayachtan, I welcome each and every one of you. Syexwaliya Kwashaman. Syexwaliya is my ancestral name. And Whonnock Queen Sna. And Whonnock is my everyday name. I usually say that's what's on my BCID and my Indian status card. But I go by Syexwaliya. And Squamish, Okmeok. I'm from the Squamish Nation. So I thought I'd wear my Squamish Nation shirt today. And this is in our language. And I raised my hands to each and every one of you as I listened to what was being shared and all the important work that was being done. I raised my hands to each and every one of you and say, Chen Kwen Mentomi up. I'm grateful and thankful to all of you. And I welcome you to the ancestral territorial lands of Squamish Okmeok, Squamish Nation, my nation, acknowledging my family in Tsleil-Waututh and in Musqueam, and honoring and respecting the ancestral territories where you live, work, and play. And I just, Syexwaliya, who I'm named after, lived on the island now known as Stanley Park in our ancient village, Squamish village of Hoy Hoy, now known as Lumberman's Arch. And my great-grandfather was Chenaltzit, and my 19-year-old son, my daughter's son, they live with me, Gavin. That's a good name. And Chenaltzit, and the priest named him Jericho Charlie, and his longhouse was at Iamoch. And they created reserves, so he had to be moved over, and they took the land and put on Sinauk, where the Hatzelano family lived. And a German gunboat actually came and took his longhouse apart, and they numbered each piece of wood. And when they were asked why they were doing that, they said, because we're bringing it back to our country and going to rebuild it and want to make sure that we put every piece back where it came from. And so they numbered it. And my grandpa always said, Dominic Charlie, Syexwaliya, when you go to Germany, go find my father's longhouse. And I was like, I was about 9, and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to Germany, but okay. And I told him I'd do that, so maybe I'll get there one day, because he seemed to know things. And the priest named Chenaltzit Jericho Charlie. And in later days, they said we should name this place after the man whose longhouse was here. So they named it Jericho Beach. So it's a Squamish, ancient Squamish village. And then in later days, they decided, the people in Vancouver and with the Indian agent, there's a section in the Indian Act, I believe it's still in there, it may have been removed, that if an Indian reserve was within a city boundaries and deemed inappropriate, they could purchase it and remove them. So they did a shady land deal with real estate developers. The city of Vancouver new mayor and that, and the Indian agent, and purchased the land when most of the men were out fishing and only 10 men were there. And out of the huge amount of money they purchased it for, only gave those 10 men $100 each. And it was over $100,000 or more. So someone got good money. And then they thought, well, we should name this when they named Jericho Beach, they thought, well, we should name this area after the head man who lived here and greeted the boats that came in with Fraser and Captain Vancouver and all the others that came in, because that's the first point of contact, right? And so they said, well, who was the head man who met them? And they said, Syexwaliya. And they went, okay, we can't say that. So they were, of course, British background, anglicized it and called it Syexwaliya. So just some history to share with you, because we don't have, and we won back land, our nation, Squamish Nation, the CP rail lands, it's called the CPY. And it took us 20 years to win it back in court. And we're doing an economic development initiative and building towers and generating revenue for our community to create housing where we choose, doing support program services and health and everything, right? So I wanted to share this bit of history with you, because they tried to erase our history, erase us and say that we weren't here anymore. Well, I'm here, and so is my Schnauzer. He's 6'5" and quite husky. And my great-great-grandfather, my grandfather, Dominic Charlie, was named after his dad, Schnauzer's father, was called Syexwaliya. And my grandson, Gavin, also carries that name. And he's going to share it with my late son's son in a couple years. So we always say there'll always be someone who carried those names as we move from time immemorial into the future. And I always say, like, all of us together, my nephew always says, it's not reconciliation, it's reconciliation. And in order to have reconciliation, you have to acknowledge the history and what happened. And then you can move forward in a meaningful way. And one of the meaningful ways for us is health and patient safety, because of all the things that have happened and intergenerational impacts of residential school and colonization and everything that happened to our families is a result of that. And we have lots of addictions, we have lots of different health issues, mental and emotional, as well as all the different cancers and everything that all people face. And it's being able to have, putting patients first, because sometimes we don't always get the best care when we go into the hospitals or clinics. And so it's about how do we change that and make things work, and you're all advocates in your area. And that's why I say I put my hands up to you. And I wanted to share these few words. Today's a day of reflection, and I feel my ancestors, one of my elderly cousins, he was my mom's age, but because of the family tree, and he's descended from Syexwaliya's family tree, passed away probably in the middle of the night. And so we say when we lose someone, all of our families get to come visit. So I felt really reflecting on history in that today and wanted to share with you. And so I did this at the other event. I closed at 3 o'clock. I've been with Health Quality BC for the last 2 days. And so that was a really good time and being with them. Then I walked down here to join all of you. So it's an honor to be here and to know that you're there and know that we need to have that collaboration, and glad to hear the teachings that you learned today from each other, and glad that my sister friend Roberta opened you. And now I'm going to give you a teaching. My grandfather said every person has the inner spirit. He said it was like yin and yang, because he was born in the 1880s, so he met people who were working on the railroads, the harbor, building Vancouver. And he said, it's like the Chinese people say, yin and yang, that energy. Every human being has it. And if you believe in your energy, it can help you. And he said, you receive from Creator through the top of your head into your energy. And it can help you emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, if you believe. And he said, and it connects us to each other and everything in creation, like the trees, the rocks, the plants and medicines that grow, and all the animals and everything in the air, the sun, the moon, stars, because they control things too, like the moon controlling tides and the sun helping things grow, and those things and all that's on the earth and in the water. And we can send that energy to each other with prayers, or sometimes close family. You can send thoughts to them and they'll get in touch with you, or, call you and pray for them. And nowadays on Facebook, people say, prayer warriors, send your prayers for my family. And when I see that, I go, oh, and I put prayer hands and a heart, and I start putting them in my daily prayers. And so, we have that. And then when my children, that's a teaching we have. I've heard it from Gwen Point and other Coast Salish elders. And I know other Indigenous people, First Nation, tribal, other Indigenous people have that belief, like the chakras you receive from Creator or higher power to your third eye into all your chakra points. Same teaching. And saying that if you pray on those points, chakra points, and with different, like amethyst and crystal and that, you can heal yourself. And so when my children were growing up, I'd talk to them about this. And then we went and saw Star Wars 1, right? Long time ago, not to Queequeg in the long ago. Probably the first one came out in 77, but it was many years before number 2 came out. So it was coming out in Christmas that year, so they re-showed number 1, and I brought my kids, we gotta go see this. They wanted to see it. And then we're sitting in the theater close to the front, and all of a sudden Obi-Wan is telling Luke, your father was a Jedi. Here's his lightsaber, he'd want you to have it. He was a Jedi Knight. And Luke's like, what's a Jedi Knight, and how do I use this? And Obi-Wan says, a Jedi Knight uses his lightsaber and uses the Force. And what's the Force? The Force is an energy that connects everything, all of us and everything in creation, to each other. And we can use the Force. And that's how Jedis use the Force for helping do good. And I was like, that's what your great-grandpa taught me. That's what your great-grandpa, that's our teaching. And they were like, shh. And I said, but that's our teaching in this movie. And they were like, shh, Mom, the movie. And I was like, okay, but that's our teaching. And I became a Star Wars fan. Because every Star Wars movie has some teachings that are Indigenous, and if you know it, you pick up on it. And I have Baby Grogu and the Mandalorian. And they're my protection, along with my Thunderbird. And I share that because laughter is medicine, and I want you to relax. Because our people believe you need to be open to send the energy, the Force to each other. When you pray, you need to be open. So now I'm going to get you to stand. You've been sitting a long time, so we're going to start with some Tai Chi and yoga. We'll do downward dog. No. What I do want you to do is what our elders believe is breathing is important for talking, for calming you, for everything. And you can't have your arms crossed. You can't have your hands like this or this. That's why I wanted you to laugh, because I found, how do I get people to open their hands? So I told a funny story, a family memory. And then I want you to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth a few times, and ground yourself. Even though we're several floors above the ground and there's concrete, we're on Mother Earth. Chisha Tameo. So breathe. I'm going to do Syexwaliya Slowlam, Syexwaliya song, Ha Squal, greeting of the day. Then I'll do a prayer and then I'll be done. And you can, as we say, Weske Nam Tok, let's go home. Or go to the movie. Tonight's Tuesday. So open your hands. And I always tease and say, if I see you put your hands together or your arms crossed, you can tell because your shoulders go in, right? And I used to see that. That's why I thought, how do I get you to open up? Pray for each other. Pray for your family, friends, communities where you're originally from and where you live, work, and play while I sing. And then pray for the work that you do. And then I'll do a prayer. Chen Quen Mentomi Kakakanak Chasiam. Yons Yonso, Tanoyap and Manman Squalwin, to squalls to seats, Yonsio Manman, Equadal Chet Yap Squalwin, CII Chet Yap Squalwin, Okmeo Chet Yap Squalwin. Asking you, Creator, and also ancestors of everyone in the room, watch over and guide your children and protect them. All of them gathered here, their families, Equadal Chet Yap, all of their friends, Syayai Chet Yap, all of their villages where they're from and where they live, work, and play, Ochameo Chet Yap. And put a shield of safety and protection around them and help them with their shkwalwin, feelings in their hearts and minds, your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness. Asking you, Creator, to watch over them and guide them in the good work that they do and to help them know when to take care of themselves so they can take care of others still. Asking you, Creator, to hear our prayers for all our family and friends who have serious illnesses and are receiving treatments, need surgery and have injuries and need surgery or just surgery for other health problems or have had the surgery and need physio, those with anxiety and depression, those with, across the country, many cases of COVID or RSV or this bad coughing flu that's coming around right now that really tires people out and takes long to recover from. And asking also about all the many illnesses and treatments that we need that are there that we can't start naming or we'd be here for a long time. Hear our prayers for their health, healing, and recovery, sending our energy to them. Asking you to hear our prayers for all our family and friends who have traumas and battles with alcohol and drugs, whether prescription or toxic supply, taking many. Also hear our prayers for the homeless who are there because of their traumas, battles, and their health issues. A lot of times they're emotional and mental health issues. Let our prayers help them with their Syexwaliya and put a shield of safety and protection around them. Help some find that healing path to wellness and recovery. Asking you to hear our prayers for all our family and friends who have lost loved ones, that our prayers hold them up as they say farewell to their loved ones, going to the ancestors and Creator, and also in the healing days afterwards. And sharing my grandfather and elders' teachings I learned when I was little. They said our loved ones, when they leave, they worry about us. They worry about us because our place is in the land of the living to walk our life journey till we do the job we're meant to do here on Mother Earth. And so they become what I call our spirit guardian warriors. And they watch over us and they protect us. And when we're low in our Syexwaliya, and maybe it's happened to you, you're feeling low, and then all of a sudden you see a hummingbird or a raven or a hawk, eagle, something in the water, on land, or, you know, the air, and you smile and you feel good. Then you tell someone about it and they say, wow, that's awesome, and they're smiling and happy. Spirit guardian warriors lifting up your Syexwaliya, and they protect you from serious injury or loss of life. You know, you've heard people say, I was lucky, I could have been in that accident and I could have died or been seriously injured, but something stopped me and I wasn't at that place. Spirit guardian warriors. So know we're never alone, and always believe in them, because they're there if you are open to the energy and see it. Or maybe it's a song and when you walk in the mall or store and there's a song playing and you start, you know, kind of like dancing and go, God, this was my late son's favorite song, and you start singing. And spirit guardian warrior, or a feather, or a rock, or shiny coin. Some say a shiny coin's a sign an angel's nearby. Pick those gifts up. They're meant for you. And if you get a rock that fits your hand like a worry stone, every once in a while wash it under the tap, because all the water in cities come from our rivers. Wash it off and it'll be all fresh again. So asking you, Creator, to see everyone safely home wherever they're traveling to now, and to have a Whonnock, an excellent evening, and moving into the rest of the week, an excellent week and weekend. Tama kwetsi snachum. Those are my words. Chen Kwen mentomia. Now you can sit down, and I'll go off the stage, and like I said, we'll say, Weiske Nam Tok, let's go home. Or like me, I'm going to Park Royal. I got my daughter to get us tickets on Friday, and I'm going to see Killers of the Flower Moon this evening. So, and I read the book, because I always read the book that a movie's made from before I go to it. So have a great evening.
Our day is done, and thank you so much, Elder Syexwaliya. That was absolutely wonderful and a tremendous way to close our day. So thank you so much for the learnings and the inspiration that you've given us. Thank you. Good. I wish you safe travels wherever you're going, yeah, look forward to seeing you again next year. Putting patients first. Thank you.